Golden State Warriors need to make a trade with the Chicago Bulls, but it's not for the guy who we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks. Yes, Zach LaVine resurfacing in Golden State Warriors trade rumors. That's what we'll discuss on today's show, as an NBA insider has revealed that the Warriors might consider Zach LaVine a safer option than trading for Jimmy Butler. Here's the full quote from Anthony Slater. We all know he's the GOAT of Warriors Inside Info. He said, LaVine is viewed by some within the organization as the safer option. At 29 years old, he's 5.5 years younger and some $6 million cheaper than Butler this season, though his contract extends longer, and he's had some recent health concerns. There are risks all over the board. Now, my first thought here is, this is very interesting, right? Because the Warriors have not been engaged, and they've not been a suitor for Zach LaVine for quite some time. Remember, over the summer, they were kind of getting some buzz as to maybe adding him as that secondary scoring option after they missed out on Lauri Markkanen and Paul George. But Golden State wasn't interested. Back in August, we heard a report that Golden State has, quote, no appetite for Zach LaVine. So that's why I really haven't been covering him much on the channel, because we've kind of been in the dark for the most part on a Zach LaVine trade here. However, with the way that the Golden State Warriors played last night against the OKC Thunder, got a massive win, they could be in line to make this big-time deal, to take them over the top and really vault themselves into a position where they can win or get into the 6th or even 5th seed in the Western Conference. And if you're fired up about that performance from your Dubs last night against the OKC Thunder, hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video. Let's see how fired up and how passionate you guys are for your Dubs, even when the season might not be going how we all hoped. Let's talk about it, though. Trading for Zach LaVine. He's an expensive player, $43 million on the contract, and rightfully so, right? He can fill it up on the offensive end, no doubt about it. Golden State clearly needs a secondary scorer next to Steph. He got his last night, no doubt about it, but OKC was still throwing heavy double teams outside the perimeter, even when Steph was working off of the ball, and that could be basically eliminated if LaVine were to be on this roster and would be a real-time scoring threat. It's not going to be easy to trade for him, though, and the big risk of making this deal is that you're going to be paying him a lot of money over the next couple of seasons, and I say next couple of seasons because see that $49 million player option down below? It's pretty likely that he would go out and accept that deal. You could argue he might want to get a longer-term deal at age 31 for the 26-27 season, maybe 4 years 140 or 4 years 160, something of that nature. But how can you pass up $50 million and then maybe gamble on yourself to go get a new deal in 27-28? It's not going to be easy, but listen, Golden State seems like they're back heating up with these trade rumors and really looking to make a splash deal at the deadline. Could be all smoke, but I think this is the route that they're going right now. And Zach LaVine's a great player, man. He can really fill it up on the offensive ends. Having a really bounce-back season. Got hurt last year, but this season he's shooting the lights out from three-point range, 45% from out there. Overall, a really efficient player. We know how he can be effective attacking the rim, highlight level player, and he's kind of becoming more of a facilitator, a connector this season within that Bulls offense. Nearly 5 assists, and that's something that he's kind of been doing for the majority of his career, right? Like last year, he was hurt, and we didn't get the full version of Zach LaVine, and when we did see him, it wasn't a great version, right? He was inefficient. He really didn't he wasn't that volume scorer that Chicago has pegged him as over the last couple of seasons. I mean, he was a 25-a-night guy for basically 3-4 years there in Chicago, and he does it fairly efficiently, right? 37, 38, 42% from three-point range, and he's back up way up to 45% this season. I think LaVine is a clear-cut option here for Golden State if they really, really want a scoring boost for this offense that has been, let's be honest, pretty terrible since the beginning of December. That's what I really think about this whole situation. If Golden State isn't going to make a move for the front court, they want to make a move for a wing and something at the 2 guard where they've kind of been confusing, right, over the season since they lost D'Anthony Melton. He was the guy who was going to be Golden State's starting shooting guard for most of this season, but now they kind of have a gap at that spot, right? Dennis Schroeder, not really a shooting guard, and you're really running Steph there more often than you're running Schroeder. Buddy Hield can't start, and I'm not really dealing with Guy Santos or Lindy Waters being in the starting lineup if this team wants to contend. So LaVine fills that hole for Golden State. He fills the scoring relief. I think he's the best scoring relief on the market, but there are drawbacks to trading for Zach LaVine as well, right? Golden State's defense would fall off a cliff because we know that Andrew Wiggins would likely have to be in this deal. I mean, you're not trading Draymond away. So with Andrew Wiggins making $26 million a year this year, he'd have to be sent away in this deal. And he's your best on-ball defender on the wing. He's probably your most versatile wing defender, can guard 2s, 3s, and 4s. And, he also provides a lot on offense as well. 40% three-point shooter. He hit a couple of big shots against OKC last night. It would be a big loss, but this is a bona fide 25-point per game scorer that we're bringing in here to Golden State, and he can do a lot of other things on the court as well. Not the best defender, sometimes plays losing basketball and takes bad shots, but he hits them, man, and I think LaVine's a really, really good player that Golden State should really inquire about if the price is good enough. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think, though. Am I talking gibberish here? Am I out of my mind about Zach LaVine? Let me know in the comments section. Should the Warriors trade for LaVine? Type T for trade, type P for pass. I want to hear what Dub Nation has to say. Next, we're going to go over a Zach LaVine trade idea, as I really don't think that this is going to be something that puts Golden State's depth out of the water, right? You're going to lose some guys, but I think Zach LaVine's going to be enough of a player that Golden State wouldn't mind making a deal for. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform with over 10 million active members, including yours truly. And we're going to hook you up with a free $50 in your account to start off when you place your first $5 entry after using our promo code CLNS when you download the app. And Prize Picks is super simple. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 player stat projections and just pick more or less. You can watch the real money roll in real time watching your favorite sports. And they're always trying to offer you incredible deals like Taco Tuesday or Flex Friday. That's where you maybe miss your lineup and they give you your entry back in promo funds, or Taco Tuesday where there's a bunch of different stat projections. And then for a lot of big games, PrizePicks likes to offer you free squares. And that's what they're doing for the big game coming up next Sunday. Patrick Mahomes, they're setting you guys up for success here. More than half a passing yard. So if you pair this up with one other player in the big game, you're already halfway to winning on PrizePicks. So make sure you guys use that if you download the app. Do download the app. Use our promo code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you place your first $5 entry. You don't even need to win to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. Run your game. All that information will be clickable down in the comment section and description of today's video. So after talking about the fit for Zach LaVine and how he could really boost this Golden State Warriors offense, you have to shift towards what you're going to give up in a trade for him. And Anthony Slater kind of gave a little bit of insight as to what Golden State would be willing to part with. He said there is locker room concern, though, about who the Warriors send away in a hypothetical trade for a high salary player, such as Butler or LaVine. Remember, they're re-engaged in Jimmy Butler talks as well. Andrew Wiggins, who had a productive season well worth his $26.2 million cap figure, is the obvious salary match, with Gary Payton, who makes $9.1 million, and Kevon Looney, who makes $8 million, profiling as the type of building block expiring salary that trade partners covet. Wiggins is a 30-minute per night, two-way piece, and all three are central figures to the locker room's culture. Listen, you got to spend money to make money, man. If you're going to get a good player, shocking, you have to give out some good players in return. And I think Zach LaVine is worth maybe giving away some of those guys. Listen, Looney and Gary Payton, they really elevate this team in a couple of different areas, right? They're great locker room guys. They're awesome presence in there. They're leaders. They've been with this organization for a long time. They've won championships. They know what it takes to win. But at the end of the day, are they really that productive on the basketball court? That's what we're really worried about right now for Golden State. They need to be better, and they need to stack more wins. And how much do these two guys contribute to the overall score at the end of the game? I know that they're excellent defenders, and even last night against OKC, they ran a lineup that had included Looney and GP2, and honestly, not a lot of shot creation outside of Dennis Schroeder. However, that lineup was a dog defensively. They held OKC scoreless for a couple of minutes. But on the offensive end, they are net negatives. Golden State didn't score too many points during that stretch either. And I don't know, man. Like GP2, just not a factor outside the arc. Neither of the two are necessary floor spacers. Gary Payton plays a quasi-power forward role a lot of the time. And Looney, I mean, he's not playing as much as he used to. They actually started Quentin Post yesterday, so they're trying to go younger at the center position. And Looney only plays less than 15 minutes a game as well. And overall, like, it's not like their locker room presence and their leadership has resulted in a bunch of wins for Golden State, right? Like, they're 23 and 23 now. They're a 500 team. Like, it's not like Gary Payton and Looney are necessarily moving the needles a ton for Golden State. So it could be an opportunity where they could see giving them away in a trade, as they are expiring deals this year as well. Are they going to re-sign them? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Let's look at the trade idea that I conjured up for Zach LaVine, given what Anthony Slater reported out there. Warriors get Zach LaVine. Bulls get Wiggins, GP2, Looney, and a 2025 first-round pick that has a protection on it. You want it to be a protection that probably is attainable enough for Golden State. Like, make it a gamble for Golden State to give that away. They protect it to the point of you assume, being Golden State, that you're going to be in that 6 seed, 5 seed by after adding LaVine, and the pick's not going to be worth as much, and you'd be okay giving it away to Chicago. Make sure you protect that. I'm not really in the business of giving away a ton of unprotected first-round picks if you're Golden State, because they are taking a flyer on a guy. They are taking a big-time chance by trading for Zach LaVine, so I want to protect them as much as possible. And I think this deal would probably get it done. And here's why. The Warriors do this for the simple reason of talent, right? Like, talent wins in this league. You swap Wiggins for LaVine, essentially, right? Because, like I just mentioned, are you going to re-sign Kevon Looney and GP2 in the offseason? If you look back to last year, Golden State was willing to part with both of those guys. They were actually hoping that Looney would decline the option that he had to come back to Golden State. They were hoping that GP2 would decline the option, so they had even more cap space in the 2024 offseason. So the offense no doubt gets better by making this trade. You do suffer on the defensive end, but I think Golden State has enough pieces defensively to make up for the losses of Looney and GP2. I think it'd be well worth it for Golden State to make this trade. Plus, it alleviates a ton of pressure off of Steph. Why Chicago does it on the flip side, I'm not sure if they want to do it, but they definitely should do it, right? Like, the Bulls aren't in a spot where they're going to be winning the Eastern Conference. They can't compete with the Celtics, the Cavs, the Knicks, even like the Magic, or I don't even know if they're going to be better than the Sixers at full strength. So why are you trying to be mid? Like, why are you trying to just get to the play-in tournament, lose one game, and you're going to be the 14th pick in the draft? Like, they should be trying to tank. They should be sellers at the trade deadline. I think they should go as far as having a fire sale and getting rid of everybody so they could be in a position to draft a top guy this year, like a Cooper Flagg or an Ace Bailey or a Dylan Harper, somebody who could build upon for years to come. But we know that the owner over there in Chicago is very stubborn, and he just likes filling seats and selling tickets. So keeping these guys like Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, and others on this Bulls team is something that he's probably in favor of because it's going to sell more tickets, more people are going to come to the games, team's not going to be tanking per se, but I think that they absolutely should. So going back to this deal, would you make it? Let me know in the comments section. Type A for accept, type D for decline on whether or not you would take Zach LaVine, giving away Andrew Wiggins, GP2, Looney, and a protected first-round pick in 2025. I'm accepting the deal, man. I want to see better product on the court for your Golden State Warriors. There's too many one-offs like we had last night about OKC. Can we see 2 or 3 more wins in a row for Golden State? Can they get hot here before the trade deadline? Maybe that would shy them away from making a deal, but I still think that would be a mistake because I predict that they would fall back into their ruts that they have since starting the season 12-3. But we can talk about this more on Twitter. Hit me up at Smitty at CS right over here. That's the handle. We're trying to build more of a community with Warriors fans over on social media. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're trying to get to our goal of 71,500 subscribers. A little less than 200 subs away. So for daily Golden State Warriors news, rumors, and updates, if you're a diehard Warriors fan, you'll love what we got going on here at the channel. Hit that sub button. We'll see you in the next one. Let's go Dubs.